Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. It's a real pleasure to have you all with us today to celebrate our 2020 WTCA Day. Thank you all for your participation, and thank you to our speakers. I want to give also a big thank you to the WTCs in Lille, Metz, and Nantes, who transferred the invitation in their network. I see there are also various WTCs signed up, Cyprus, Twente, and the Netherlands. We have also different WTCs from all around the world, a soon-to-be new WTC in Abidjan, Ivory Coast as well. So thank you for being with us today. A few messages. Please turn off your microphones and camera during the presentations. We are using the regular Teams video conference app and not the live event app, and so I can only turn off microphones but not cameras. For questions, we will use the instant message function in the middle of your screen, and we will answer questions mid-presentation and at the end of the presentation. We are on a tight schedule. Each WTC will have 6 to 7 minutes to present their WTC. Sebastian, can you confirm that Iman is recording the presentation?
Yes, she is, yeah.
Well, we were thinking about recording the presentation and possibly sharing it on the social media afterwards. If any of us do not, if any of you, does not feel comfortable with recording this presentation, please let us know in the message box. Otherwise, one last message to the presenters. Thank you for your time, of course, and we'll make sure to put you in touch with companies present today looking for more information about your WTC. Without further ado, I want to introduce our first speaker, Arun MANANSINGH, who is the Executive Director for Corporate Services at the World Trade Centers Association headquarters in New York City. Arun, the floor is yours, so please turn on your microphone, and the rest of us will turn it off.
Great, Nicholas. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
We can hear.
Great. Good morning, everyone from New York. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Arun MANANSINGH, and I'm the Executive Director for Corporate Services for the World Trade Centers Association. I've been with the association now since 2014 and have been the association's Chief Information Officer and Chief Operating Officer. I want to take this time to thank our hosts, World Trade Center Brest and World Trade Center Brand, for organizing and hosting this webinar to celebrate World Trade Centers Association Day. I'm honored to have been asked to speak here today. These two World Trade Centers have been strong members at WTCA, leading initiatives such as organizing this webinar on how to expand your business internationally and other beneficial webinars regarding conducting business and virtual breakfast. These initiatives are more important than ever during these times to bring people together, sharing best practices, having conversations, and showing unity during this global crisis. For those of you who are not familiar with the WTCA, I would like to provide some background information about the organization. The WTCA is a not-for-profit consisting of a network of more than 325 highly connected, mutually supporting businesses and organizations in nearly 100 countries. Specifically, our organization licenses exclusive rights to the World Trade Center and WTC brands for members to use in conjunction with the independently owned iconic properties, facilities, and trade services located around the world. For over 50 years, the WTC network stimulates trade and investment opportunities for commercial property developers, economic development agencies, and international businesses looking to connect globally and prosper locally. Our members work around the clock and around the globe to bring prosperity and opportunity to their people and business communities. They work in a variety of areas, including offering world-class services and facilities, helping local businesses enter foreign markets, attracting local talent for local companies, training for jobs, and so much more. Some interesting statistics about our network. More than 1.2 billion people live in cities with a WTCA member. 35% of global GDP are produced by these cities. 40% of the world's nations are represented by a WTCA member, and nearly 70 national capitals have a local WTC. As part of our network, members have access to global tools and resources, annual networking events, including the General Assembly and Member Seminar, and the ability to connect with their fellow members across nearly 100 countries. Today, June 12, we are celebrating a momentous day for our association, World Trade Centers Association Day. In 2002, former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg proclaimed the day to be World Trade Centers Association Day, which was subsequently recognized by the Office of the Secretary General of the United Nations to recognize the WTCA and its network of World Trade Centers for enhancing trade, promoting economic development, and fostering peace. Since then, every year, the association and its members have celebrated the day by hosting their own WTCA Day events in their local communities and posting on social media, and the ongoing importance and connectivity of our network in global trade and investment. Our role as a global association connecting the business world is important now more than ever to help local economies around the world during this global crisis. We have supported our members and their local communities in a number of ways, including launching a COVID-19 resource page, which includes resources, informational resources, and programming from our WTCA members around the world, holding monthly WTCA global town hall and regional meetings to connect our members so that they can share best practices, strategies, and protocols and other helpful resources with each other. Creating an internal database where members can share information on medical suppliers, resources and services for business community, key messaging for media inquiries, reopening best practices, strategies, and other approaches to phasing and opening, and other industry reports. Sharing member stories and regional updates in the April 2020 and May 2020 and June 2020 issues of Meridian. With a united front, the WTCA and its members have shown the strength of the network. It is evident from today's event that this is true now more than ever, with a strong presence from our WTCs and friends participating in today's webinar and across the world. I hope we can maintain the strength and resiliency to emerge from this pandemic stronger than ever. If you have any questions regarding our association and our programming, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Arun. Excellent.
Thank you.
All right, so we will now switch to our next presenter, WTC Mumbai. So if Vijay is with us, otherwise I know Rupa was with us earlier. So WTC Mumbai, you have the floor.
I can't hear Mr. Kalantri, so should I start?
Yes, you can start. And you can take control of the presentation if you want to.
Okay. Good day to all of you, and I would like to start this presentation by giving you a brief background of the World Trade Center, which you all know it's a not-for-profit organization, and World Trade Center Mumbai is the first World Trade Center of India. So we've been pioneers in setting up the World Trade Center, and we've been guiding most of the World Trade Centers who've come up in India so far. So let me just go to it. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, but we have people who just joined in. Please turn off your microphones. Let me just, Rupa, just 1 second. I will switch off the microphones of people who are not presenting. Okay, Rupa, you can go for it.
So, World Trade Center Mumbai looks at the state government's various strong sectors, which are automobiles, biotechnology, electronics, and as we all know, Bollywood. Looking at Goa, we have a World Trade Center in Goa. For a Jaipur, we are looking at sectors like agriculture, tourism, metallurgical, metal, textiles, marble, agro, gems and jewelry, and tourism, of course, even marine seafood. When we look at all these sectors, most of our programs, which were always planned around these sectors, have now moved to become webinars. So I'll go to that later, but I'll just tell you a little brief about how the country or these regions have been affected because of COVID. There is a complete slump in the manufacturing sector, and it looks like from the last 1 week that about 20 to 25% of them have come back to work, especially from the manufacturing sector. And about 10% of the staff of every private sector is back in offices. So of the 50,000 cases that happened in Mumbai, almost, I would say about 90% have all recovered and are recovering. Looks like the Indian citizens, Indians are more stronger. But of course, there are a lot of others we've lost a couple of people from our own office, who work with us. So this effect has not come in Goa, Bhubaneswar or Jaipur. Mumbai is the worst hit city. The World Trade Center Mumbai has been operational even during the lockdown period. We've had almost 10 to 20% of our staff stationed in the World Trade Center because most of the government offices are located in World Trade Center, including banks and commercial offices. So we had to keep the World Trade Center operational for them. The exhibitions were all cancelled, which were supposed to be held within the next 2 or 3 months. So that's a very big challenge. Some of the World Trade Centers which are in Bhubaneswar, Goa and Jaipur have set up think tanks. These think tanks have been really very, very effective in the last couple of months because they've been able to organize their webinars in these regions so that the members of the World Trade Center are in touch with the World Trade Center and with the government officials only because World Trade Center has become a medium, a platform for them to connect the industry with the government and with the authorities, including the authorities which control exports. So we realized in the last 2 months, because of the warehouses not being able to ship the stuff out of Mumbai, there is a lot of backlog and exports were affected. So we look at the next coming few months as a big challenge, but we've learned to become very digitally savvy, and it's been quite a challenge for all of us to learn how to get back to this and understand the new normal. The new normal is going to be very challenging for us. So we've been having webinars with World Trade Center. Today we had a webinar with World Trade Center Vietnam, and very soon we're going to have webinars and virtual trade missions between World Trade Center Mumbai and World Trade Center Utah. We're going to involve a lot of other World Trade Centers with whom we've been able to connect and network in the last 1 month. This has really been very, very, very successful, I would say, very successful initiative by World Trade Center Mumbai because we try to contact every World Trade Center and almost all of them, more than 55 to 60 of them have responded. We yesterday had a Zoom talk with World Trade Center Perth, we had a World Trade Center Cairo meeting, we had World Trade Center Atlanta. So there are so many World Trade Centers with whom we are working, and in the next couple of months, we'll keep you all informed. But do you give me 1 minute to tell you, I have an idea which I would like to share with all of you. If I'm not up for the 6 minutes.
You're still good, Rupa, and you can switch slides if you want to, actually.
But when I tried to switch the slide, it went to. It went to Rene.
I'll take the control, and here I switch the slide. Okay. So we're at reciprocity. Go for it, Rupa. You still have a minute.
So the reciprocity is an excellent platform. We've been able to help the World Trade Center Cali to have business meetings when they were here because they're looking at investors. And we've helped one of our very leading companies, which was a Tata Technologies company, to find a partner in the US through the help of the World Trade Center Atlanta. So these are just 2 of them, but there are many such success stories which we can share with you for the reciprocity desk. Our signature events are going to be our virtual trade missions and roundtables where companies, the network will be such that anybody can switch from one roundtable meeting to another roundtable meeting depending on his interest. So these are some of our events which are planned, which are all digital virtual webinars, and we are also setting up a virtual exhibition center where we are going to invite World Trade Centers from across the world that they could also showcase the companies, the members that they represent, and we will be also representing our members on this virtual platform, which will also have the facility of B2B meetings and B2C meetings. So that's how we plan to probably face the new normal and plan our new programs during the year. I hope in the next 6 months we are able to come out of this. But there's one suggestion I would like to make to all of you, and that is about we should have a group of World Trade Centers which could work together. Like we should take sectoral ones, like discussions on supply chain or discussion on just manufacturing. We should choose these World Trade Centers with whom each one could work. So you could make a group of about 7 to 8 World Trade Centers, and this information would be extremely helpful to every other World Trade Center, because we can then share whatever is the finding of these discussions. We could also have something called, something on how do we navigate through the present challenges, because I know we are all in a big storm, but everyone is in a different boat. So it depends on what boat we are right now and how do we navigate through this. So I would leave this, I would like to take leave with this thought of mine with all of you. So you may plan something very interesting for all World Trade Centers to come together. And maybe because of this, we'll all work more as a network and as a global, the world's biggest global network of business. Thank you so much for hearing me, and it was a pleasure meeting all of you here online today.
Thank you, Rupa. Thank you. And your camera was off. Maybe you can turn it on so that people can see you.
The camera.
But you know, all the speakers, if you want to turn on your camera when you present, that could be helpful for people to put a face on a name. So thank you so much, Rupa. I think this is a great idea, what you suggested, and why don't you send me some information and I'll pass it along. Hi, we can see you now. Send it along to me and I'll pass it on to other members. That sounds like a great idea. Thank you so much for your presentation, Rupa. We will move on right now to World Trade Center Shenyang, Christina Shen. Christina, if you can hear me, the floor is yours. Feel free to start whenever.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Perfect. We can hear you, and feel free to turn on your webcam as well if you want people to see you.
Okay. It's my great honor to be here to stay with you, especially in very serious times, tough times. I miss all of you. So let me introduce something about World Trade Center Shenyang. Well, can I check
I just switched the presentation, so I will be switching. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Good. Okay. Shenyang is a new family member for WTCA World Trade Center Association. We joined the family at the end of 2018. At the end of that. Before that, we had a business for interior decorating, and also we have a business for developing for robots for just for real estate solution, connecting with all these hardwares connected by IoT technology, and for controlling of the equipment within the house and within the society for the building. So the owner for our license is for Eurasian Investment Corporation. Let me introduce something about the city. Well, the city is the capital of Liaoning province, and then we try to find our position in order to make everybody quite clear about our position. We are in the northeast of China. It's our place, quite a north place of China, and we have the population about 8 million, more than 8 million. And this city has a very long history. It's about 2,300 years. So you can see the palace. I gave you the picture for our palace. It's quite slow. This city was the capital of Qing Dynasty, the early Qing Dynasty. So you see, this is the palace. Before Qing Dynasty goes to Beijing, and Shenyang is the capital before the dynasty. And they start here. And the dynasty lasts for more than 400 years. It's the longest dynasty in the history of China. So if you come to Shenyang, there's a lot of things to see about his history. A lot of TV program, TV show, or a lot of story talking about Qing Dynasty. So you can see what is the status, what their life looks like in the palace. So I invite you to come after this COVID-19 period. So we are planning for our building, but it's still on the way. And there are 43 top industry in Shenyang. There's equipment, manufacturing, and automobile and parts, and medicine and chemical industry, but also software industry. We have very good software companies that sell all over the world. And also civil aviation, about flying, and emerging technology, robotics. We have big robotic companies. They just to make the machinery lines. They make the whole automatic lines. And in Shenyang, there's a very big factory for BMW. They have 3 plants. That was the best factory in the world. And this year they are start for the building for the 3rd plant. So this is the industry in Shenyang, and we were a very big industry city in the past 30 years. But after the development for the other area, especially the south area and east area of China, we are a little bit slow than others. So the government wanted to speed up the speed. So as for the COVID-19 updates, Liaoning is quite a safe place now. So you can see the confirmed cases are 149, even during the toughest time, that might be February. Only few people, and the deaths too, and everybody recovered except the deaths. And for China, you see in China, the February and March, the late time for the January is the most tough time. The government control it very strictly. And even they put into the governor system, if one city have more cases, and might be their mayor will lose their position. They cannot be the mayor again. So a lot of people were forbidden to go outside to communicate, to eat together, stay together, and the city locked down in Wuhan. But in other cities, they also very keep distance, and the people will not come to shopping, no cinema, everything, no entertainment at all. Only basic food and beverages. So,
sorry to cut you, Christina. You only have like a minute left, so we can maybe move on to the reciprocity.
Okay. So
sorry.
Okay. So for WTC Shenyang, we prepare this package for our members. So if everybody needs this, we have Chinese medicine, we have mask, and then we have this one bring everybody the package. It can defend for the virus. So anybody of you before the screen, you wanted to tell me just. So we are developing a communication treating platform also. That is called Source and Tool platform. We put as a operating system for chambers to manage their members. So for if any WC come to Shenyang, and what we can assess to you, we trade mission for industry visiting cooperation. For example, Shenyang International Show, automobile show was supported by WTC Shenyang and the WTC Pascal. Nicolas and their teams, their members come to the show, and we cooperate a lot, and we will keep on for the cooperation. And we are promoting our the card, business card. We call it. I know this one was we have it before at WTCA, but not so popular. That's why I applying for the chair for BC club, because I think everybody believe it. It's very important for the members. We are making the net, and this one we need to push it with every effort. So we signed a lot of MOU with other WTC, and we want to cooperate with them for the reciprocity desk, and we are willing to cooperate with everybody. You are welcome to Shenyang.
Thank you so much. That was great, and you know that's something MOU. That's a question that I actually wrote down and that I will ask Arun in a bit. So Arun, get ready for an MOU question. And also for those who do not know what a reciprocity desk is what WTCs use to communicate between WTCs about a specific member's needs. All right. Well, thank you very much. We will move on to our next speaker. EJ from WTC Leeuwarden, which is a very dear WTC for all of us, because WTC Leeuwarden hosted the 2018 General Assembly, and that was actually my first General Assembly also, so I keep great memories from it. EJ, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Nicolas, and also Sebastian for organizing this event. I'm really happy, and compliments also for bringing so many internationals together. And thank you also for me having the opportunity to present a little bit our World Trade Center. World Trade Center Leeuwarden is in the northern part of the Netherlands, and we are since 1999, we're a full member of the World Trade Center Association. Our license is in the hand of the City of Leeuwarden, and the City of Leeuwarden is relatively small with over 100,000 people. But the area we cover, it's the provinces of Groningen, Drenthe, and Friesland. It's really in the north, as you can see also on the slides. And we are a small team. We are with 4 people, with 2 students, but we also have a team of experts around us. And in our region, we do it with 6 experts. And our goal is very simple. It's to service companies with international ambition, to help them professionalize, and to use our network especially, but also our knowledge to further move on. In the northern Netherlands, we have a couple of industries that are pretty big. And as you might know, is the Netherlands, with a small country like in the size of the state of Maryland in the USA, we are the 2nd largest exporter of food and agricultural products. And also my region, the northern parts of the region, it's a little bit similar to the region of Brittany. We are very much focused on agriculture. But also other developments are pretty strong, like water. We have a top technological institute for testing water qualities, but also for industrial effluent and wastewater, and organizations like WTCs and the Water Alliance. Energy is also a major topic in our region, specifically in the province of Groningen, is where we try to develop in the energy, also in the field of wind energy, but also gas related. We're pretty active. COVID also hurts us, but it's not so big as it is in many other countries. I mean, so far, around 48,000 people have tested positive on COVID. 11,000 people have been hospitalized, and 6,000 people have been passed away. Still a big number, but if I may repeat a sentence that one of my customers said, well, probably at the moment we have a bigger chance of getting passed away by a car accident than by COVID. Makes you think of special things. But Holland is opening up again. The rest, also we are getting into the holiday season, and that's also what we notice here in Holland. So as of the 15th of June, more restaurants are opening up, more opportunities are there to come and to visit the Netherlands. But what we fear is, of course, an economic crisis. And I hope with the intense working together also in regards to the World Trade Center Association, that we can help companies to recover as quick as possible, but also make it international available. What do we do as a World Trade Center? Well, during the COVID time, we help the companies by calling them and just talking with them and just hearing their stories. It's a very easy way to get your people to be more involved with the World Trade Center, but also giving them at least a floor where they can tell their problems. What we also did is we offered them a list of alternative suppliers. It's in these years where supply chains are slowing down. It's often very good to find alternative ways to get your products in the country. And then also we had export consults in a sense that maybe looking into the future, knowing what to do. And of course also our local government is pretty active in having and giving financial support. It's a major thing. And it's of course it's also for our governments very important that at least that we try to keep the jobs going, and therefore a big number of money is being reserved and also being paid out to companies. In regards to reciprocity, World Trade Center Leeuwarden is proud to have a database of over 150 million companies. So what we can do from out of Holland, we can serve other World Trade Centers, but also individual companies in finding and tracing the right companies to work with. That's one of the major aspects that we work on. And then in addition to that, for the European side, is that we have a cluster database with over 600 clusters in 87 countries where World Trade Centers are located in Europe. It's a wonderful opportunity to get in touch with cluster organizations, also to have your own company move forward, but also having organizations move forward. Because our findings with these clusters is that all clusters in Europe, they like to have international connections. And another thing is that they are all focused towards innovation. So taking advantage of this database, it's also what I strongly suggest also to other World Trade Centers, but also individual companies. It is for us, of course, an important aspect to help our Dutch companies to find and to trace the right companies to work with. But it's not only for Dutch companies. We also do it for international companies. So if you are from abroad, if you are from France, wanted to enter the Dutch market, give a knock on our door or through the World Trade Center Brest or Rennes, and see to it that you enter the Dutch market. Last and a finishing touch is how the network works. Very simple. What we did for one of our companies was trying to trace a potential distributor for their products in Chile. Out of our database, our huge database, we selected about 20 companies. At the end, the Dutch company said, well, 8 companies are really nice to work with in Chile. So what we did, we passed on these 8 leads, we passed them on to Chile, to our World Trade Center Santiago, and the World Trade Center Santiago called all these 8 companies. And at the end, 2 companies from Chile wanted to have a serious match-up with this Dutch company. And that was for the Dutch the reason to jump into the plane and to depart and to find the right company to work with. Thank you for your time. Thank you for presenting World Trade Center Leeuwarden. We look forward to going back to France for our holidays, and we hope to see many friends also here coming to the Netherlands. Thank you very much.
Thank you, EJ. Thank you so much. And oftentimes I joke that if in international trade you do not come across a Dutch person, you're probably in the wrong place. So thank you so much. It looks like a lot of us could have synergies with your World Trade Center. One question midway. I see that we don't have questions on the message board, so please, all of you, feel free to use the message box for questions. But as I said earlier, I heard MOU. Arun, if you're still with us, these memorandum of understanding, what do they guarantee between two WTCs? Would you be able to answer this question, Arun?
Well, the answer depends on the MOU, Nicholas. Different MOUs are different for different World Trade Centers. So I know in the past we have done MOUs between the association and other entities, and a lot of our members do MOUs internally between each other. I think Christina mentioned her MOU with other World Trade Centers. So it depends. Depends on a lot of factors on the MOU. So that's a very non-specific answer to your question.
But that's okay. So it all depends on the understanding between two WTCs. So it pretty much brings two WTCs closer, kind of like a twinning of WTCs.
That's correct. It brings together synergies. There is something, and I think Kristen's here, there were synergies with the MOU that she signed. Again, we've seen it across the spectrum from our membership. So it really depends on the individuals that are going to be a part of the MOU.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We will move on to the next presenter, so Mahmoud Najai from World Trade Center Algiers. Mahmoud, can you hear us? Your mic, you feel free to turn on your mic. Hi, Mahmoud. We cannot hear you. There's maybe still an issue. Still, we cannot hear you still. I'll tell you what, Mahmoud, what we're going to do, we'll move on to the next presenter while you try to figure out the issue with your sound, okay? And we'll move on to the next one. And we'll come back to you afterwards. All right. See you in a little bit, Mahmoud. I think it's the same issue you had earlier. Okay, so moving on to the next person. The next person is Melissa in Kansas City, USA. Melissa, the floor is yours. You can take control of the presentation. Feel free to turn on your mic.
All right, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, yay. Hello, everyone. As Nicholas said, I'm Melissa Miller. I'm the Senior Manager for the World Trade Center here in Kansas City. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with us, our WTC was established October 2nd, 1990. We are licensed to the Greater Kansas City Chamber of Commerce. We operate as a nonprofit, and we are also small. We're a team of two, myself and my colleague, Caitlin. We service the Chamber's international arm, so we help our membership and businesses in the Kansas City region with their international trade needs. And contrary to what our name suggests, we are actually not incorporated in the state of Kansas. We are incorporated in the state of Missouri. However, our territory does cover 14 counties across 2 states. So we do business on both sides of the state line. We are in Kansas and Missouri. We can help either business on either side. And our membership is just under 2,000. And they operate in a variety of industries. Our top industries in Kansas City include manufacturing. So in the last census, manufacturing in Kansas City was valued at $40 billion. This industry is expected to grow by 7% by 2020. And a couple of subsets in manufacturing. So equipment and machinery, we have Ford and GM both have plants here. And MRI Global is a healthcare equipment company that manufactures here, also does a lot of business globally. Food and chemical is another really great subset industry. They generated $9.4 billion to our local economy in 2018. If you've ever had a Twinkie, Hostess brands are located here. Russell Stover's Chocolate, who is now owned by the Lindt Chocolatier Company, they're located here. And Seaboard Foods, if you've ever had Butterball Turkey, they're also located in Kansas City. And then the next subset of manufacturing is computer and electronics. A couple of the key players here are Cerner. They're in the healthcare information industry. And Garmin, if you've ever used GPS systems, chances are it's a Garmin. And you may have heard of this small company called Sprint that recently merged with T-Mobile. They're also headquartered in Kansas City. Agriculture and animal health, given our location, it's no surprise that this is a top industry for us. So both Kansas and Missouri are top producers for livestock, grain, and other commodities. The three largest beef cattle associations in the United States are all located in Kansas City. Those are Angus, Hereford, and Charolais. Kansas City houses the Animal Health Corridor. It's home to more than 300 animal health companies representing the largest concentration in the world. They account for 56% of the worldwide animal health, diagnostics, and pet food sales. The top players in this, SIVA Animal Health has their U.S. headquarters here. Bartlett Grain Company has their headquarters here, and Dairy Farmers of America, which is one of the largest dairy farmer conglomerates in the United States, is also located in Kansas City. And then wrapping up our industries is design and construct. So the Kansas City region is one of the top 5 largest concentrations of architecture and engineering employment in the nation. Our firms are leaders in designing power, telecommunications, and transportation infrastructure around the world. And our top players in this industry are Black & Veatch, Burns & McDonnell, and Populous. And I would be very remiss if I didn't tell you guys about some of our other really well-known businesses that not a lot of people know are headquartered in Kansas City, and they don't really fit in any of those top industries. But Hallmark Cards, they also own the Crayola brand. If you've ever sent a Hallmark card or used a Crayola crayon, Hallmark is headquartered in Kansas City, and they're a great partner with us. H&R Block, a lot of people use them for their tax needs. H&R Block is headquartered here in Kansas City. And Bushnell, if you've ever had a pair of binoculars, chances are they were probably the Bushnell brand. They are also headquartered here. So for our COVID-19 update, I pulled some data from the New York Times Metro Tracker, and that's those two graphs or tables in front of you. Kansas City MSA, according to this data, has seen a little over 4,000 confirmed cases and 179 confirmed deaths. These two tables in front of you show where Kansas City compares to the other U.S. metros. And according to this data, we are tracking at or below the national average, and our confirmed cases are starting to flatten or decrease within the past few weeks. We have seen a couple of spikes since we've started to reopen, but largely, according to this data, we are again flattening or declining. And this data, these tables in front of you, show that these are cases per population or per 1,000. So you can compare in the cumulative confirmed cases in Ohio, they're at 3.85. Kansas City is at 2.05. So just kind of shows you comparatively how we are in the rest of the United States. Like most of you, Kansas City is reopening in phases. This can be a little tricky since we do cover 2 states and have 14 counties. So depending on where your business is located determines which guidelines you follow. For example, on the Missouri side, businesses are beholden to a 50% occupancy limit, so no more than 50% of a business can be occupied at any one given time. On the Kansas side, however, it's 35 or fewer individuals can gather either publicly or in the open space. Social distance requirements are pretty much standard across the metro. Those include the 6 feet minimum distance requirement, adequate PPE, increased sanitation and disinfection procedures. And right now, both states are in a point in their reopening phases where essential versus non-essential businesses don't apply anymore. So that distinction is no longer there. As long as a business adheres to any of the above requirements and the state guidelines, they're allowed to reopen. One interesting thing is record keeping. I know a lot of countries are a little bit better at this than we are. So record keeping is encouraged but not required. Suggestions to businesses and event organizers is to maintain records of attendees or customers who are on the premises for longer than 10 minutes and to maintain those records for a minimum of 30 days. However, customers or attendees are under no obligation to provide their names or contact information, which can make it very difficult to conduct contact tracing. So you kind of see where we're at with the record keeping. And then one thing that we've done to help our membership during this time is to assist the Chamber in building a COVID-19 hub. So it's a resource collective for businesses and community members covering a wide variety of topics, including where to purchase and donate, PPE, guides on reopening their businesses, resources for parents, caregivers, children, funding resources, advocacy measures that we're taking, and so much more.
Sorry to cut you. It's just 1 minute left for the reciprocity.
All right. So speaking of reciprocity, how can we help? Trade leads. So with our extensive membership and strategic partnerships, we have a wide-ranging network to make customized connections. With market research, we have several databases that allow us to pull prospecting and benchmarking lists to aid in potential partner searches or product sourcing needs. The data we can pull encompasses the entire United States, global data, and this can be drilled down all the way to the zip code level. And in-market assistance, once we are finally allowed to travel and see each other in person again, we would love to have you in Kansas City. If you are visiting Kansas City, doing business in Kansas City, we offer conference and office space, B2B and tour assistance, and we can point you to the best restaurants, hotels, and attractions in the area to visit. Excuse me. And a couple of examples of successes. So we recently assisted WTC 20 with a market request for one of their clients, focusing on a specific industry segment, and we narrowed it down to their top prospects. And then, like EJ, we've partnered with WTC Santiago. They reached out to us looking for a manufacturer for electronic vehicle charging stations, and we were able to connect their client with Black & Veatch, who did the nationwide rollout Tesla for charging stations. And they started a project conversation within a week of making that initial connection. So we're pretty fast to move. And that's all that I have for Kansas City.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Notice how I didn't really know how to present you, and I said Kansas City, USA. I was not sure if I should say Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas. Although I am part American, which you can hear from my weird American French accent, I do sometimes have doubts on my geography. Anyways, we'll move on to Mahmoud. Maybe Mahmoud, is your sound working?
Can you hear me?
Yes, great. Glad to have you back. Let me take control back on the presentation and go back to your slide.
Perfect. Oh, thank you very much.
All right, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So, hi everyone. Happy WTC Day to everyone. It's a great privilege and honor to be among such a prestigious virtual floor. It's always good to be part of an initiative that gathers people from all the globe, from the 5 continents. So I'd like to especially thank you for this, Nicolas. Your diplomatic skills have been very important in putting this together.
Sebastian's also. I want to mention Sebastian.
Sebastian, thank you so much for for pushing and for organizing this as well. So a few things about the WTC Algiers. The World Trade Center Algiers has been fully operational about 20 years ago, so from 2001. We're located in Algiers, which is the capital of Algeria. So just for some people who don't know where Algeria is, it's in North Africa. It's the largest African country and the 10th largest country in the world. We at the World Trade Center we have business clubs. So we have a couple of business clubs, the Export Business Club and the new Digital Business Club, where we try to establish links and relations with startups. Here in Algeria, we have about 18 members that are part of this our business club. Algeria is mainly an oil and gas country with some of the largest reserves in the world. Of course, this makes the country's banking sector very flourishing. Some of the multinational banks that are here in Algeria are ranked top in their network in Africa. We are also, as World Trade Centers Algiers, founding members of a cluster, a tourism cluster that came, well, through the initiative of a few companies, large companies here in Algeria that operate in tourism, and they've asked us to be part of this cluster and to assist in connecting this cluster to the rest of the world, to the international scene, through the World Trade Center network. At the World Trade Center Algiers, we work a lot on investment-related projects. As mentioned earlier, we have two business clubs, so the Export Business Club, the Digital Business Club. We provide a lot of consultancy through, so it's in-house consultancy, and also through our consultant network. We organize a lot of trade events, trade shows, conferences, seminars. We are also licensed by the Algerian government as an official training site and organization. And we provide businesses, service offices, so completely and fully equipped offices ready to go. So that's about us. You can see on the presentation some of our clients. Now, some of these might be familiar with the likes, familiar to you, with the likes of GE, so General Electric, maybe Air Liquide, Société Générale, Sonatrach, Agreco, CMA CGM, Orido. So these companies, just to take those up, have been working with us for more than 20 years. For 20 years, sorry, since we started. We believe in working together at the World Trade Center, and we have been able to establish a network of, a trusted network of all these companies that you see on your right-hand screen. So during this COVID, I mean, we realized that it was more important than ever to work together. Why? Because alone we're vulnerable. Some sectors have been, affected more than other sectors during this COVID. But what was wonderful to say, and I go back to my fellow WTC Leeuwarden CEO, who said that we were listening to our clients and friends' needs. We were talking to them. We created also a task force, a business task force, where we assembled all these businesses together, and we said, okay, what can you do together? Can we survive together? Can we create new services, new products, using everyone's specific skills? And what we realized, actually, the beauty of this is that the H2H took over the B2B, and this is also a core thing in the World Trade Centers Association network. H2H is human to human rather than business to business. When you do business human to human, so when you use the concept H2H, you're faster, you're more effective, you're more productive, you're more secure. The projects are more secure, and the success rate is higher, the conversion rate is a lot higher. So we really concentrate on the human factor and on the relationship that we have with our businesses. So yes, that's it for this slide. So in terms of reciprocity, reciprocity for us is what we sell to our local members and also to our international members. So reciprocity to our local members is the idea is to say to them, look guys, wherever you go around this world, and we have fantastic cases and stories that we can tell. Indeed, Santiago is a fantastic work rate center. Every time we send somebody there, they look after him, they take him, they set up meetings, they've been wonderful. Other work rate centers also have been very supportive in terms of connecting our local businesses to their clients. So what you see here on the slide is the minimum that I could think of, but really and truly, in terms of reciprocity, the least that we can provide to you is first of all to respond to your reciprocity, try to understand your reciprocity request, try to understand your needs, try to understand what we can do for you, give you an insight about the local economy, the local environment. I mean, Algeria at the moment has some very interesting competitive advantages in terms of investment, like its location, the fact that we're part of the the African Free Trade Zone Agreement, the Arab Trade Zone Agreement. We've also been able to establish with the EU a free trade agreement that has entered into action in last year in July, if I'm not mistaken. So, we can provide a strong and reliable lending point to all companies, especially the companies that come through the WTC network here in Algeria. So you can have a free meeting room, free internet, as much as you want. You can also have some important discounts if you come through a World Trade Center. You can have very important discounts in terms of service offices, and many other things that we would be very happy to discuss with you.
Thank you, Mahmoud. And I can concur. I mean, we've sent members to WTC Algiers, and they've been very satisfied, very happy with the services you've provided. So, and we're actually going to put together an Algeria workshop in the fall also with you guys. So, looking forward to it.
Thank you very much, Nicola. Thank you.
All right. Well, we will move on. Last but not least, to WTC Trieste. Christina will be our last presenter today. Christina, so I'm switching to your presentation. So if you want to take control of the presentation, feel free to do so. There we go. And feel free to turn on your mic. The floor is yours, Christina.
Yes, good afternoon to everyone, and thank you for this invitation to take part of this event and celebrate together the World Trade Center Association Day, even if it is such an unusual situation of the global economy. And thank you, World Trade Center Brest and Gran Bretagne, because this is the first time ever in the history of the World Trade Centers Association Day that we are organizing an initiative altogether, encompassing more than 50 people with your members, and it's a great pleasure to see all the colleagues together and not necessarily only local initiatives. So I'm very happy. And what about World Trade Center Trieste? World Trade Center Trieste operates since 1998 for the first period of time through a public-owned company, and from 2015 up to the current time under a private license holder, the company Summer & Co. Shipping, which has more than 100 years of history in the logistics service sector and has already a well-established international presence. The World Trade Center Trieste, a division of Summer Group, advances trade and investment opportunities in the region, Friuli, Venezia, Giulia. As you can see from the map, our World Trade Center is located in the northeastern part of Italy, and we are bordering with Slovenia, Croatia, and Austria. The building hosting us is located in a strategic position in the city center and near the port of Trieste. Our offices are in one of the most iconic and historic buildings of the city, as you can see also from the picture. What about our top 3 local industries, our major players and clusters? One of these is the port with the logistic services, and we have also a cluster which we call maritime technology. The port is strictly connected with the free custom zone, which is also a great advantage for commerce and industrial also developments. And we, as World Trade Center Trieste, have put together the port, the custom zone, and the scientific park, which is a second top local industry in the area, with a cluster of ICT, industrial digitalization, and smart health. Third, of course, we have the tourism and culture, because Italy is leading in this sector, and in Trieste we have also the cluster of agri-food and bioeconomy. And then you see some logo of our main tenants and members and also partners working with World Trade Center Trieste, occupying our offices and also located outside of the facility. What about COVID-19 updates from Italy? The economic situation was stabilizing before COVID-19, but activity and consumption have dropped drastically since COVID-19. Several sectors have been affected, most of all, as also other colleagues said before me, arts, entertainment, recreation, accommodation, food services. Can you imagine the forecast for tourism economy in Italy is a loss of 60% of the presences. So we will have 172 million of tourists compared to 430 million before COVID-19, which brings Italy back to 60 years ago. And we won't see changes until 2021. We had 3 months of lockdown of the economy, divided in phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. And up to the current time, since June 4th, all the economy reopened. So we are fully operational with some limitations, that means some restrictions. We have to put up the mask when we are indoor but not outdoor, and we have a different regional coordination depending on the presence of deaths and illness people. Keywords during the period of COVID in Italy was smart working and digitalization. So can you imagine 3 months you have to stay at home or to move carefully? And we came up with the idea to work through digital tools to contain the virus dissemination. And most of the companies introduce remotely working tools for their employees, of course, with the related advantages and also disadvantages. You increase the workers' freedom and autonomy from one side, so you have a great capacity to organize your time, but then the worker sees personal life invaded by the work. So after 3 months of this situation, the current situation is that the government releases some measures to support companies and people with the tax delays, short-time work schemes, cutting interest rates, and targeted credit support to support industries. One brilliant idea that has been developed by World Trade Center Trieste to serve our members' interest. The goal was encouraging business relations, providing updated information and developing business opportunities through the app MyNet. So we have developed an app. It has been piloted among our member community and the Italian World Trade Center network, and we look forward to extend and enlarge it also to our European WTC colleagues, and then maybe in the future we will see. What about the reciprocity? Reciprocity, by the way, for all the members connected, means that one member of one World Trade Center is automatically recognized member of all the World Trade Centers centers in the world. So the benefits that I'm providing to my local members are the same that I provide to your members. Therefore, we can benefit. We can benefit of these expansions of opportunities to assist reciprocally members. The top 3 services that members from other World Trade Centers can access in Trieste are the following. We are recognized locally as international business hub. So we provide consultancy and connection. How? We are able to give detailed market research based on specific interest related to sectors of the economy or cluster or single industries, and market introductions. So we do introduction personally on your behalf. We connect your World Trade Center or your member with Italian companies. We offer free space for meetings in our facility. And of course, now we have the app, MyNet, and you can join it for free till the end of this year. As a success story to share, that was really tough for me because after 20 years of World Trade Center Association, just one success story was really difficult to pick up because we have collaborated with most of you worldwide. But recently, Skip the Dishes, which is a Canadian leading food delivery company acquired by Just Eat PLC, using technology to make great food more accessible. They have the headquarter office in Winnipeg. So World Trade Center Winnipeg contacted us to organize and promote a recruitment event in Rome, in Italy. And we have supported them, and they were able to make interview of over 150 Italian qualified candidates, and they get the opportunity to apply to work in Canada. So we're coming at the end of this initiative, and I am the last one. So I would like to add one more sentence. In the World Trade Centers Association Day and 50 years anniversary of the World Trade Centers Association, I would like to remember the words of the founder of the WTCA, Mr. Guy Tozzoli, who left us in 2013. A man who encouraged us to remain committed and to pursue his vision to change the world through trade and investment. So now we must redouble our efforts to bring the world together. But people is the most valuable resources, and in our global network, we encompass experts in almost all countries of the world. So once again, I would like to thank you all for the attention. Thank you to organizer, and please feel free to come to Trieste. Contact us through WTC Brest and Rennes, and anytime you need help and information, we are glad to host you in our city. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christina, and glad to see you with a smile. Glad that Trieste is doing better. Italy is doing better. Our thoughts and prayers really went out to our Italian friends during this pandemic, and I'm very, very, very pleased to see that things are going better. I think it is time to thank all the participants. I will pass along to Sebastian, who will ask a few questions. We had a couple questions on the chat regarding North Africa and Africa in general. Sebastian?
Yes, sorry, I've been a bit got some trouble with my connection on my computer, so I am on my phone. Yes, I read some question on the chat relative to the presence of World Trade Centers in Africa. I've sent a link to the WTCA website with the different locations. So, well, it's one of the continents where there are maybe not that much World Trade Centers, but I think there are some in development right now. Maybe Arun, will you give some updates about the new development, maybe in Africa?
Are you talking about Africa itself or North Africa? I'm not quite sure what the question is. We do have members in North Africa, Sebastian. Tunis, Casablanca, Cairo comes to my mind right now. There's a few more. I think I saw on our webpage, there's a link to all our locations, as well as to the whole of Africa. So we'll be more than happy to share that link with everybody.
Okay, yes, I'll share it in the chat. Okay. Great, so I think we are quite short of time right now, so I would like to thank all of the speakers during this webinar. And I just want to remind you that we have a Meridian magazine which has been published today, and you'll get also some news from the network from various World Trade Centers who are also remotely working. And if you want to keep in touch with the presenters of the various World Trade Centers, you've got there the different contacts of these people who will forward to you the presentation, so you can get all the information. So thanks again to everybody. It was a very exciting work to do together, and I think it's a good example of how World Trade Centers can achieve together good things. Thank you to the WTCA and to Nicolas also for hosting the event.
Thank you, Sebastian. Thank you to all of you. We're out of time, so as you can see, WTCA, we grow trade. This is our. Actually, there's a new slogan. I believe, isn't that right, Arun? It's not only we grow trade. It's
connecting the business world.
Connecting the business world. That's it. Okay, excellent. All right. Well, thank you all, and have a great day. Happy celebrations, and talk to you soon. Hopefully in person this time.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.